you could save with great rates and discounts.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save money on insurance? Of course you would.
After all, who doesn't love a great deal, right?
And when it comes to great rates on insurance for all the things in your life, Geico can help.
Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV.
They even help with homeowners, condo, or renters coverage.
You could save even more with a special discount when you bundle your coverages.
Plus, add the easy-to-use Geico mobile app.
Available 24-hour roadside assistance and more.
And choosing to switch to Geico becomes an easy choice.
Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts.
It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote.
Or contact your local agent and get started seeing how much you could save.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever produced in the history of television, the Max Headroom story.
Welcome to Theories
of the Third Kind.
Welcome to Theories of the Third Kind. My name is Aaron, and I am one of your hosts. There's one other host that is joining me today, Danielson.
Hey, guys.
Now, real quick, I just wanted to say that as of last week, Hans is no longer on the show, and we just wanted to wish him the best of luck in future endeavors. And I know it sucks, but me and Danielson are going to keep going strong and continue to dive deep into these crazy topics each week.
Exactly.
All right. So another thing real quick, before we start today's episode, I just wanted to say, like always, if you want to support the show, then there's a few ways that you can do that.
One of the ways is Patreon. Each week, we release a Patreon exclusive episode that only Patreon supporters can get access to. To sign up, it's only $5 a month, which is only 16 cents a day. Not only do you get an extra episode per week for that $5, but you also get access to our entire back catalog of past Patreon episodes.
In total, we have over 80 extra Patreon episodes, which is over 100 extra hours of listening pleasure. To see the list of Patreon episodes, go to our website, theoriesofthethirdkind.com, and click on the Patreon episodes tab. There, you will see an entire list of Patreon exclusive episodes that we have published.
Also, today we added another Patreon exclusive episode, which is Over Astroworld. So you get access to that episode as well as all the others for just $5.
Now, if you can't afford a Patreon membership, but you want to help us out, then you can leave us a written review on iTunes, and that helps us out a lot.
However, don't feel pressure to leave us one if you don't want to. That's fine. We just want you guys, girls, aliens, reptilians, Bigfoot, Sasquatches, Chupacabras, ghosts, Illuminati members, underground lizard people, whoever or whatever you are to enjoy the show.
And that is the end of the announcements. So today's episode is over the Max Headroom incident. Now, how this episode will go today is that we'll first dive into who Max Headroom is and how he came to be, and then we'll discuss the hijackings that occurred in 1987, and then we'll make our way into some strange facts and findings, theories, and of course wrap it all up with our own personal thoughts and theories. So with that being said, let's get into today's episode.
On the night of November 22nd, 1987, one of the strangest things in television history occurred.
2 Chicago television stations were automatically taken over by a mysterious masked man who was doing odd things on the camera.
The television stations were able to gain access back to their broadcast, and the authorities immediately started searching for the individuals responsible for the broadcast interruption.
Was this just a couple of amateur hackers playing around, or was it something more sinister?
This is the Max Headroom incident.
Now, before we dive into the live TV hijacking, we first have to understand who Max Headroom was, who created him, and what he stood for. And if you've never heard of this incident, this is going to be a little confusing. But the reason we're talking about Max Headroom is that the individual who hacked into the TV stations was wearing a Max Headroom mask. So many people refer to this broadcast interruption as the Max Headroom incident. So this Max Headroom is like an AI character that was on TV in the early 80s. So Dan, do you want to start it off for us and tell us how he was created?
All right, so if this is your first time hearing about Max Headroom, let us enlighten you to who or what he is. So to understand this topic, we have to go back to the early 1980s. At this time, music videos were starting to become a big thing. MTV had just recently launched their own channel on American cable, and on this channel, they not only played popular songs, but they also had videos that played alongside the song as well. This MTV channel was a huge success, and everyone was talking about it.
Now, this success caught the attention of a lot of media companies overseas, specifically Channel 4s. So Channel 4 was a British public television network. This network wanted to do something similar to what MTV was doing in the United States. So they contacted an individual named Peter Wagg.
Peter was the producer at Chrysalis Records, which was a popular British record label. Channel 4 told Peter, "Hey there, mate, we would like for you to create something for us, something similar to what MTV is over there in the United States."
Peter agreed to take on the project and came up with the perfect idea. So at the time, MTV was just playing music videos one after another, not having a break in between. Peter thought it would be a good idea to add some kind of graphical sequence in between the music videos. So he took this idea and gave it to an individual named George Stone, who was a writer at an ad agency.
George assembled a team of 2 additional writers, animation specialist and music video director Rocky Morton, to help. Just a little knowledge nugget real quick, but Rocky Morton co-directed the amazing Super Mario Bros. Movie back in 1993. Well, they considered it a failure, but it was cool back then.
Is that the one where they have those dinosaurs with little heads?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that was a great movie. I really enjoyed that.
I actually thought it was pretty good for the time.
Yeah. All right. So this amazing trio of creators that George put together came up with the idea of a weird computer-generated presentator that would be a middle-aged male wearing a suit. Now, this idea sort of took off, and they decided to make it an hour-long show called the Max Headroom Show. Now, this name, Max Headroom, was to represent filling the viewer's head full of sound and vision.
The show itself had a cyberpunk post-apocalyptic universe type theme that this Max Headroom character lived in. Now, the thing about Max is that he wasn't human. He was what you would call an AI, which stands for artificial intelligence, and he was the host of this show.
So they created a show for Max, but they really didn't have a backstory for him. And they figured, hey, instead of us just normally telling it over the television show, that they would just make a movie about him. And just a warning, we're going to get into the movie and start talking about it. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it. I mean, it was released in 1985, so if you haven't seen it by now,
Right.
you're kind of running late.
All right. So the movie that was created for Max was called The Story of Max Headroom, live on Network 23, and debuted in theaters, like Aaron said, in 1985. This movie takes place in the same place as his TV show, a dystopian cyberpunk era where television and big corporations were in charge. It told the story about how Max Headroom came to be and how he was originally a person named Edison Carter.
Now, Edison was an American investigative journalist for a media network. Edison, in the movie, was deemed a leftist and kept getting on his supervisor's bad side with his work. Edison was all about truth and justice and reported about it frequently, which kind of brought discomfort to the city.
Now, you figured that his job would just fire him since he was causing the city discomfort. However, they didn't because Edison, even though he had all this controversy around him, he was the media network's biggest star.
So further into the movie, Edison